Hello. Okay. Good evening, dear learners. Hope you all will be enjoying the learning through Swayam portal. And this is the live session with you. Today we will study about the lecture week 5th and week 6 lectures. So, do you have any question so that I can solve it, or will start the class? किसी को कुछ पूछना है? Okay, we start the session. Today we will study about the content of week 5. So this is related to activity centered curriculum. Activity centered curriculum, as the name indicates, it is related to more activity. Much more focus is on activities and less on subject or the content that delivered through lecture. As we know that in subject-centered curriculum, we give much more emphasis on the content and we try to give it through lectures. But in case of this in activity-centered, we always give importance to the activities. And, this means that content is elaborated, content is discussed with the help of activities. What will be the advantage of this activities? Can you explain? What will be the advantage of this activity-centered curriculum? Anybody can explain this? इससे एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम हम किसे कहें? देखिए, see, when the content is imparted through activities, that is known as activity centered curriculum, or the main focus is giving on activities. The main characteristics of this activity centered curriculum is based on psychological characteristics of the learner. Psychological characteristics means that we keep in mind the principle of need. Principle of need, that is related to the students' age group, that is related to students' maturity level. Say, for example, we are preparing the curriculum for primary level. So we will have to select the activities that are very much lively and that are very much familiarized. The students are familiarized with the activities. If we are taking any kind of laboratory experiment for the primary students, so they will not be able to perform this activity. So in case of activity-centered curriculum, we keep in mind that it should be as per the principle of need, keeping in mind the students' age group and the students' mental level, students' psychological characteristics also. Psychological characteristics means that the primary level students always try to touch the things. They try to touch the things. They always try to touch the things. And the secondary level students are having so many questions in the mind. So the critical analysis is developed in this stage. Similarly, when the students of the higher learning institution, they are having their skills to solve the problem. So these all, when we analyze, we find that the psychological characteristics of the learner differs from from one to another group. So accordingly, we frame the activities, that how should we do this as per the need of the group to whom we are imparting the content. So, dear learners, what is the advantage of this activity-centered curriculum? What is the advantage of this curriculum, uh, activity-centered curriculum? बताइए. Sorry, today I am not feeling well, but if you are not able to understand me, you can stop me and you can tell me to revise it or to repeat it. Okay. So tell me, what is the importance of this activity-centered curriculum? Hmm. Hmm. So I brief all the psychological, all the characteristics of this. The main purpose of this kind of activity-centered curriculum is to make the students as an active learner. Because when we are delivering the lecture, the students are mum and they are sitting. So this doesn't give good reflection. And who is able to understand me, who is not able to understand me, I can't check it. Similarly, when the subject-centered curriculum is imparted in the classroom, a teacher is unable to identify that how many students are able to understand the teacher and how many are not able to understand. So this is the main benefit of the activity-centered curriculum, that every student learns with his own pace. And no need to give the kind of remark to any students. They all are having, and their instruments, they are having resource material. They are interacting with the resource material. They are trying to understand. Few understand quickly and few understand slightly later. So this difference may exist, but they are able to understand, and the teacher is also able to evaluate the students' performance because it is reflected in the behavior of the students. Similarly, one thing sorry for disturbance. Nawaz Sharif,
Yes, ma'am.
uh, please, all the students are requested to open the video so that we can take a photo. So all are requested to open the video so that we can take a photograph of all the participants, all the dear learners requested to open the video. Yes, Priya Shukla, Muni Singh, Pooja, Shreya Mishra, Varsha Rani, Dolly Singh Tomar, Asma B, Shashi Patel, Devanshi Arya. All are requested. Nidhi Pandey open. Very good. All are requested to open the video so that we can take a photograph. Muni Singh open the video. Kumari Priya Shukla, very good. Asma B, very good. Pooja, Devanshi Arya, Shreya Mishra, very good, very good. आप लोग सवाल भी पूछा करिए, okay? आप लोग कुछ भी सवाल जो भी हो करिकुलम से रिलेटेड आपका सवाल नहीं आ रहा है समझ में, वो भी आप हमसे पूछा कर। नेटवर्क चला गया। Am I able to am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja is waiting. Mm. Yes. Nawaz Sharif, photo
Yes,
done?
ma'am. Yes, done.
Okay. Okay. So I continue the same. In activity-centered curriculum, we are having an opportunity to encourage children to express themselves in various ways. Say, for example, we are uh, we are having a kind of learning encourages children to be creative on how they can express their knowledge. This type of learning allows students to convey what they learn through action and verbal presentation. Because when the student is doing anything, we are able to know whether the student is able to understand or not. So the evaluation is of the behavior. What does the student reflects in the behavior? Support social development. Although activity center learning encourages children to take responsibility for their own learning experience, and group-based activity also helps students develop team and social skills, and these skills will later prove to be crucial to their job and social life. So, what is important here? That when the students are doing work in group, they are able to understand each other, because in every class there is diversity, and diversified groups, we are able to understand the culture, language, way of behaving, etc. with each other. And also we are having a kind of leadership quality, who will lead the group and who will take the responsibility of the task. We can also understand by doing work in a group. Similarly, social skills. Social skills are very essential. You might observe that few teachers are very much active and able to take help from each and everyone. And few are only confined to few students. So social skills, if sharpens and strengthens, then we can say that a person can behave very effectively in a group. Say, for example, a person is very sensitized, and if someone is saying anything, he doesn't feel good. But other one is saying that yes, careless, in a very lightly mood. Yes, I will do this. So this kind of behavior, where what should I do for that? What is essential? What is required in a particular group? ये सोशल स्किल्स कहलाती है। टीचर से बात करना, टीचर गुस्से में है, आपने बात कर ली और गुस्सा आ गया, तो ये क्या है? आपने समझा नहीं, you could not understand the mood of the teacher. So to help others, how to cooperate others, how to behave with others, These all should be understandable in a group where activity is focused too much. Okay. The another point related to activity centered curriculum is support social development. If a student or the learner is at home every time, interacting with the parents, any kind of uh, hobbies, not having any kind of interest to make the friends. So, what is this? This is a kind of disquality or a kind of behavior that shows that the student is not social. But human being is a social being. Human is always a social being, and we society we organize marriages. So when our when we are having roots, when we are roots, then we should be able to. This is very essential that that the activity centered curriculum also helps to develop social skills. The other advantage of activity centered curriculum is this: it focuses on the relevance of education. Children cannot understand the appropriateness of learning material when they put a pen. आपको करिए इक्वेशन तो क्या करने से करना है, जब तक आप उसको गाइड नहीं करेंगे एज अ टीचर वो नहीं कर पाएगा. तो सॉल्व करना और इसके अलावा अपने स्टूडेंट ये बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. और एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम जो है वो इसमें स्टूडेंट्स की लर्नर्स की हेल्प करता है कि किस तरीके से हम अपने स्टूडेंट को सोशल बनाए, किस तरीके से हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स में ऐसी बातें ऐसी हैबिट्स डेवलप करें कि वो कॉपरेट करें, उसके अंदर अच्छी स्टडी हैबिट्स आ जाए और वो समाज का एक अच्छा नागरिक बन जाए. सिमिलरली द this activity centered curriculum also gives a kind of experimentation. Experimentation means कि जब हम काम करते हैं, एक्टिविटी करते हैं, तो वो एक तरीके का एक्सपेरिमेंट है और उसको करने से हमें हमारे स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो सीखते हैं, देखते हैं, करते हैं, तो उनके जो सेंसेस हैं वो
मैम आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही है.
नवाज शरीफ,
यस मैम।
आवाज आ रही है?
यस
नहीं,
मैम।
कट गया था, अभी सही है, अभी आ रही है।
प्रिया शुक्ला, आवाज आ रही है?
यस मैम, अब आ रही है।
बीच में चली गई थी।
हाँ, लगभग 2 मिनट के लिए।
सो ओके, मैं दोबारा से बता देती हूँ कि जो हमारी एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम है, when you are talking with your friend, your expression, take other kind of expression. But when you are having interaction with your teachers, you have expression. So these kind of behavior that make the students more, this is very essential, and our activity centered curriculum help in this regard. तो हमने आपको क्या बताया कि जो हमारा एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम है, एक हम आपको ब्रीफ बता देते हैं। सबसे पहला क्या है, ये प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नीड पे काम करता है। दूसरा प्रिंसिपल ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स पे काम करता है। तीसरा क्या है, ये हमारे स्टूडेंट्स में, हमारे लर्नर्स को सोशल स्किल्स सिखाता है। एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, इट इज ऑल्सो हेल्पफुल टू मेक द स्टूडेंट सोशल, कैसे, हाउ टू बिहेव विद द टीचर, हाउ टू बिहेव विद colleagues, how to behave with the elders, we can understand it. So in that way, the activity-centered curriculum connect us with our cultural roots. Our culture is also saying that always pay respect to all. Always pay respect to languages of every state, and also pay respect to the norms of the society, and also the traditions and positive kind of thinking to the society, so that you could be able to promote the social change. आप भी उसमें एक हिस्सा बन सके। लर्नर, हमारा जो लर्नर है, that become a part of social change. So this is activity centered curriculum characteristics. Now we come to the disadvantages. कि इससे disadvantage क्या है? Because every topic has its advantages, every curriculum has its advantages, and on the other side, some kind of disadvantages may be. Say, for example, in activity centered curriculum, we promote activity for each topic. We promote activity for each topic. Now, the question is that, is it possible to organize the activity for each topic? The answer from the side of teacher is no. Somewhere when you are explaining the theoretical concepts, like, oh, suppose you are having, आवाज आ रही है?
यस
आवाज
मैम।
आ रही है? Okay. So sometime when when the teacher is explaining history topics of or any chapter of history, how possible to perform the activity? So this is the main obstacle in the path of activity-centered curriculum. Some it happens that the theoretical concepts are there. For that, the teacher can't perform the activity. Sometimes it also happens that resources are less. Resources are few, very few. And curricular activity. So it become a big challenge for a teacher to organize the material. Similarly, when forming every topic with the help of this kind of activity, the big challenge is that the time is short. Only 4 months are given. Within 4 months, we have completed our this our when the syllabus is is ये लिखा है इन्होंने, you may not hear others well and they may not. Is it possible? क्या आप नहीं सुन पा रहे मुझे? नवाज शरीफ?
सुन पा रहे हैं मैम।
नवाज शरीफ?
हाँ सुन पा रहे हैं मैम। ऑडिबल।
और
यस मैम।
आप अपना कनेक्शन देखिए। Student participants, please check your connection. We are able to convey the concepts and convey to this lecture to different doors. Please check yourself. So this become a big challenge for a teacher. Similarly, in case of this resources, few government schools, few private also, they are not having resources. And they are not having big labs. They are not having experimentation, etc. So how possible to perform this kind of learning? This is a challenge before teacher. And what happened? We delivered through lecture. Therefore, the activity-centered curriculum is a kind of curriculum that gives much more opportunity to the high privileged schools. The schools where the resources are limited, not possible, not perform these activities, etc. Similarly, in case of training of teachers, we are not having this opportunity with the teacher to organize the session or to organize the classes with every time with activities. Therefore, the students remains devoid of many things. So when the teacher is not trained properly, sorry, properly in teacher training institution, they are unable to perform well in the classrooms. Therefore, it is needed that the program of teacher training, it should be modified, as well as the resources that are required for the activities should be provided to the school. And technical staff is also a big problem for the schools. Technical staff नहीं है, कंप्यूटर चलाने वाला नहीं है, वायरिंग ठीक नहीं है, इंटरनेट कनेक्शन नहीं है. So poor interconnection or poor facilities never facilitate the implementation of activity-centered curriculum. This is the big issue. So this is about the activity-centered curriculum. The next one is that how to make the activity-centered curriculum more meaningful. सिर्फ हम ये कह दें पॉसिबल मैं ऐसे कैसे करूं के लिए, या आपको जस्टिफाई करने के लिए बाय टॉक्स, ये तरीका सही नहीं। थोड़ी सी जद्दोजहद कर ली जाए, और इस करिकुलम को, जो हम जिसको हम एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम कहते हैं, हम उसको इफेक्टिव बना सकते हैं, हम उसको अच्छा बना सकते हैं। से फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम, अगर छोटी छोटी एक्टिविटीज के जरिए हम अपने कॉन्सेप्ट को क्लियर करें, एंड यू मस्ट लर्न अबाउट एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, what it was before independence, and it was introduced by Mahatma Gandhi ji, our of nation. Said that efforts डालिए, put your efforts with hard work, and courses should be here. If the students are able to prepare basket with the waste material, and students are able to make a ball with the waste papers, and to earn the money, they are efficient and productive citizens ultimately. So the activity से बड़ा एडवांटेज है, और ये कहता है थ्योरी में स्किल्स में एक कोरिलेशन होना चाहिए। सिर्फ किताब को पढ़ लिया and your knowledge is to the four walls of the classroom, not the useful knowledge. What is useful is that you can implement life situation also. अगर बटन भी ना दबाओ इन्वर्टर का, तो क्या है, ये फोबिया है कि भाई करंट आ जाएगा, मैं नहीं दबाऊंगा. So this kind of phobias, this kind of fear, hesitation that we have to implement the knowledge, that should be solved. And a gap should be filled between knowledge and skills. जब तक हम सिद्धांतों और कौशलों की खाई को भरेंगे नहीं, तब तक हम कभी भी अच्छा करिकुलम इम्प्लीमेंट या एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम को इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर पाएंगे. So this kind of curriculum always required a kind of training for the teachers. और ये ट्रेनिंग कब पूरी हो सकती है, जब हम एक्टिविटी के थ्रू सीखें. So participants see this characteristic of activity centered curriculum for National Education Policy. National Education Policy 2020 ये क्या कहती है? ये कहती है कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को स्किल जरूर होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है वो इतना बढ़ गया है कि एक लॉन्ग क्यू है अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, और इस लॉन्ग क्यू की वजह से हमारे बच्चे और माता पिता का विश्वास भी शिक्षा से उठ जाता है. Students having lot of degrees, say solution of any kind of activity centered, which नई शिक्षा नीति 2020 जो 20 की नई शिक्षा नीति है कि नई शिक्षा है हमें सिद्धांत अप्लाई कर ट्रेनिंग्स फॉर कराई जाती है। ये इसीलिए कराई जाती हैं जिससे बच्चा या टीचर या जो भी है लर्नर हमारा नॉलेज जो उसके पास है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर सके। सो internship program in the teacher training course, MA in education, MA in psychology, ये सब क्या है? ये ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम क्यों लगाए जा रहे हैं? इसीलिए लगाए जाते हैं, इसीलिए कराए जाते हैं कि हमारा जो लर्नर है वो हमारे अपने कौशलों का विकास कर सके और पढ़े हुए ज्ञान को कक्षा के बाहर भी क्रियान्वित कर सके। Why we are implementing this internship program, training program? Because we want to implement these all to the outside classroom also. And we want to see the student or the learner as a productive citizen of the society. And so, dear learners, this is about the activity-centered curriculum. If you have any question from this activity-centered curriculum, इसमें से कोई बात समझ ना आई हो तो पूछिए। Yes, please ask the question. अपना जो माइक्रोफोन है उसे बंद रखिए। म्यूट योर ऑडियो। श्रीपाल जी आपका ऑडियो खुला हुआ है। श्रीपाल जी आपका ऑडियो खुला हुआ है, आवाज आ रही है।
Sripal, please mute yourself.
म्यूट करो श्रीपाल। चलिए अब हम पढ़ते हैं। कोई पूछता है किसी को? पूछिए। चलिए अब हम पढ़ते हैं कोर करिकुलम। अभी हमने पढ़ा एक्टिविटी सेंटर्ड करिकुलम, अब हम पढ़ते हैं कोर करिकुलम। कोर का माने क्या होता है? कोर वैल्यूज। कोर का मतलब होता है कॉमन। कॉमन जैसे ईमानदारी, चाहे किसी क्लास का बच्चा हो, हम कहते हैं इसमें ईमानदार होना चाहिए। मेरी चाहे कुछ भी पढ़े वो, कोई भी कोर्स छोटा हो बड़ा हो, कोई कोर्स छोटा बड़ा नहीं होता है, उसका स्पेशलाइजेशन कितना है ये आना चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स को। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि स्टूडेंट्स को कोर वैल्यूज होनी चाहिए। से फॉर एग्जांपल उसको अपने पर्यावरण के प्रति सचेत रहना चाहिए, क्लीन होना चाहिए। जैसे हम अपना कागज का टुकड़ा लिया फेंक दिया, अपना घर का कूड़ा लिया गेट पे डाल दिया, किसी दूसरे को उससे क्या बाधा होगी, हमारे से कोई मतलब नहीं, हमारा घर साफ। तो व्हाट इज दिस? नेगेटिव वैल्यू। ये क्या है? नेगेटिव थिंकिंग है। पॉजिटिव वाइब्स कब आती हैं? जब हमारा बिहेवियर बहुत बैलेंस्ड होता है। If we are able to understand that what I want, that I should be giving to others. लिखा होता है treat the others like the way that you want for yourself. आप चाहते हैं, आप उसके अकॉर्डिंग बिहेव करिए। जैसे हम सभी चाहते हैं कि हमें सब इज्जत से हमसे बोलें, हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे जो हमारे छोटे हैं वो हमको आदर करें, बड़े हमको आशीर्वाद दें, और हम जो काम करते हैं वो भी बहुत ही मेहनत से करें, अच्छे नंबर लाए। तो ये क्या है? ये कोर वैल्यूज है। अपने वातावरण के प्रति सचेत होना, अपने वातावरण के प्रति उदार होना, और गरीबों के लिए उदार होना, सबकी सेवा करना, मिलजुल के काम करना, ये कोर वैल्यूज कहलाती हैं, जो हर कोर्स चाहता है। चाहे कोई सा भी कोर्स हो, चाहे वो 10वीं क्लास का हो, चाहे वो ग्रेजुएट लेवल का हो, हर कोर्स की कोर वैल्यूज एक कॉमन कोर होता है। तो कोर करिकुलम का मतलब होता है कि हम ऐसी वैल्यूज स्टूडेंट्स में, अपने लर्नर में डेवलप करें अपने करिकुलम के द्वारा, जिससे वो एक अच्छा इंसान बन जाए। वो कोर वैल्यूज कौन सी हैं? ऑनेस्टी, हार्ड वर्क, अवेयरनेस फॉर द एनवायरमेंट, जेंडर, नो जेंडर बाइस, constitutional values, identify the constitutional values, know the history of freedom movement, pay respect to elders, and sensitization for environment, health and hygiene also. ये सब ऐसी values हैं that I told you right now, that is essential to understand for everyone. तो कोर करिकुलम का जो मानी है वो यही है कि the student should be provided a common core in order to develop a productive member of the society. So, a core curriculum component of communication should aim towards empowering the students with the skills to communicate clearly and correctly in a prose style appropriate to the subject, occasion, and audience. What we want to develop through core curriculum, we want to make our learners able to understand and apply writing and speaking processes, connecting invention organization, drafting, revision, editing, and presentation. Another characteristic of core curriculum is to realize the importance of an audience and purpose specification along with choosing the correct options of communication. To comprehend and effectively use modes of expression, which include descriptive, expositive, narrative, scientific, and self-expression in written, visual, and oral communication. This kind of curriculum should also be participatory. Participatory means learner should be active. जैसा अभी एक्टिविटी सेंटर में बताया था वैसा ही कोर में है. कोर में भी लर्नर को एक्टिव होना चाहिए. एक्टिविटीज होनी चाहिए. The learner should know how to cooperate with each other, how to live in a society, and how is it possible to develop the social skills among the learner. Understand and be able to apply basic principles of critical thinking, problem solving, and technical proficiency. ये तीन जो बातें हैं, critical thinking, proficiency. ये क्या गुण होते हैं? ये क्या कैसे जाएंगे? हमने कहा आपसे क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग बताइए, कुछ बोलिए भाई. What is the meaning of critical thinking? Critical thinking means a student should be able that what is essential and what is not essential. So critical चाहिए बताएं कि बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है. कहाँ पे अच्छा है और कहाँ पे अच्छा नहीं. बातें क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग में आ जाते हैं. और जो स्टूडेंट्स क्रिटिकली थिंक करने लगते हैं वो अच्छे कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट करने लगते हैं. कंटेंट को इंटरेस्ट डेवलप हो जाता है. से उन्होंने कोई कौन से पॉइंट्स ऐसे हैं जो के अनुसार नहीं है. To improve this piece of knowledge. So what is required here? There is need to think critically, and it makes the learner perfect or the master of a particular subject. So this is very essential. Similarly, problem solving skills. Problem skills means if there is any challenge, how to solve this problem. So at least you students should know that if I will be going to the library when consulting particular or if I am going to ask my teacher, definitely I will be able to this problem. Technical proficiency means that what are the technical points related to that particular learning. जैसे simple to complex and from general to specific. ये content का technical point होता है. So the curriculum that are having a kind of good language, systematization, well organization, and a kind of good presentation, these that this is and to अगर कोई अपने स्वयं कुछ लिखता है और लिखने के बाद उसको एक्सप्लेन कर लेता है orally, it means the learner has understand. लर्नर के अंदर इतनी सलाहियत है, इतनी योग्यता है कि वो इस लर्निंग को एक्सप्लेन करे. Say for example, mathematics. What happened? हम कहते हैं कि ये बच्चा बड़ी जल्दी मैथ्स का काम कर लेता है, बड़ी जल्दी सॉल्व कर लेता है. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स नहीं कर पाते जल्दी सॉल्व. And along with this, we are also having a kind of myths wise. लड़कियां जो हैं वो मैथ्स में कमजोर होती हैं. But when we go through mathematics, we find that few mathematicians have given or contributed a lot. शब्दों अब solve the mathematical problems as quick as the male do is wrong. And we should put our efforts to the with examples. With the examples that we are having a lot of examples in our literature that show that mathematician. So core curriculum says that what is the actual value of the subject, we must know it. The mathematics component of the core curriculum aims to produce a quantitatively literate college graduate. And every college graduate must be able to apply basic mathematical tools in solving real world problems. So these shall include arithmetic, algebra, geometry, high order thinking, and statistical methods for modeling, solving real world situations. To represent and interpret basic information mathematically using words, numbers, graph, and symbols. So what is the आप बंद कर- जी
Introducing.
इसी की अवस्था So, dear learner, exceptional to represent and interpret basic information mathematically using words, numbers, graph, and symbols. Extend mathematical reasoning and formal logic in the creation of plausible mathematical arguments. Apply appropriate technology to enhance mathematical thinking and understanding and solve mathematical problems and judge the reasonableness of the result. Finish Palji? Finish Palji? क्या बात है म्यूट नहीं कर रहे हैं म्यूट करिए अपना आवाज वाला बटन दबा दो हाँ अब सही हुआ And to apply appropriate technology to enhance mathematical thinking and understanding and solve mathematical problems and judge the reasonableness of the results. Interpret mathematical models of formulas, graphs, tables, and schematics to infer from them. To understand the limitations of mathematical and statistical models. Evolve the view of mathematics as a historical science that evolves with human culture, the relationship it has with other disciplines. The third one is natural sciences. An objective of the study of any natural sciences part of a core curriculum is to facilitate the student's ability to comprehend, build and assess relationships in the natural sciences, and to enable the students to understand the basis on which theories are built and tested. The main objective of natural sciences are to understand and apply method and appropriate technology in the study of natural sciences, to identify scientific and quantitative methods and their differences from other types of inquiry and communicate results. To identify and distinguish among competing scientific theories. Demonstrate an awareness of significant issues and problems associated with modern science including those related to ethics, values, and public policy. To demonstrate an understanding of the interdependence of science and technology and their impact on and contribution to modern culture. The next subject is humanities and visual and performing arts. The core humanities and the visual and performing arts in curriculum can be said to fill the function of expanding students' knowledge of the human condition and human cultures, especially in relation to behavior, ideas, and values expressed through works of human imagination and thought. By way of study in literature, philosophy, and the visual and performing arts, students will critically examine, judge aesthetically, and develop an appreciation for arts and humanities as fundamental to the life and survival of any society. So a student should have experience in both arts and humanities. The main objective of such kind of core curriculum is to make the students able to demonstrate awareness of the range and diversity of text in the arts and humanities, to comprehend those works as the expression of individual and human values in a historical and social environment, and to critically respond to works within the arts and humanities. This subject, humanities, also involve the creative process or the interpretive performance and understanding the physical and intellectual demands required of the author or the visual or performing artist to an informed personal response to works in the arts and humanities. To gain appreciation of aesthetics principles that guide or govern the humanities and arts. To demonstrate an understanding of how literature, philosophy, or the arts have shaped experiences involving other cultures. The next subject is social and behavioral sciences. इनका क्या मकसद होता है? इनको पढ़ाने का, सोशल और बिहेवियरल साइंसेस को पढ़ाने का क्या उद्देश्य होता है कॉलेज में? What is purpose of teaching this social and behavioral sciences? बताइए डॉली सिंह तोमर, बताइए डॉली सिंह तोमर, प्लीज टेल मी what is objective of teaching social and behavioral sciences? इसको पढ़ाने का क्या उद्देश्य होता है? पता नहीं आप लोग बैठे भी हैं या मैं वैसे ही बोल रही हूँ। श्रेया मिश्रा, सत्य द्विवेदी, प्रिया शुक्ला, वर्षा रानी,
यस मैम।
बताइए ये जो हमारा सब्जेक्ट है सोशल एंड बिहेवियरल साइंस, इसको हम क्यों पढ़ाते हैं कॉलेज में? इसका क्या हमारा उद्देश्य है? बताइए, अपना वीडियो ऑन करिए। अपना वीडियो ऑन करिए।
Democratic values to enhance critical understanding.
क्रिटिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग। सोशल जब वर्ड लगा है तो इसका मेन मकसद क्या होगा? जब सोशल वर्ड लगा है तो इसका क्या मेन मकसद होगा? उद्देश्य क्या होगा? मुख्य उद्देश्य क्या होगा? व्हाट इज मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव व्हेन वी आर सेइंग सोशल?
Ma'am, enhance democratic values.
अलावा इसके apart from this, making every individual as a social human being, because in social circle we need a person who is having a kind of values that needs your performance well. Say for example, someone is fallen on the road and we are not paying attention because we don't have time. I had to reach somewhere. So what is this? This is against the etiquettes of a human being.
Means, yes, ma'am.
So what kind of human being we want? We want a person or the human being, those are having sympathy for others, those who can extend the cooperation, as well as those who are having a kind of curiosity, enthusiasm to extend the knowledge to the society also. Every profession has its contribution in the society. For example, we teachers, when doing B.Ed as a prospective teachers, we are having this zeal to extend our services to the underprivileged group, so that the students those who are not able to come to the school due to lack of money or due to lack of resources, or maybe certain kind of challenges for the family, for especially for the girls. But we are having space for that in our mind and heart, that extend our services to those who are unable to come to the school. So this kind of social behavior that explain your cooperation to the society is very essential. And to investigate social institution processes at all times through historical periods, social structure and culture. आज हम इतने संपन्न हैं तो कैसे संपन्न हो गए? हमारे बुजुर्गों के, हमारे स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन रहा, इसकी वजह से आज हम इतने साउंड ग्राउंड में खड़े हैं और हम हर फैसिलिटी को अवेल कर रहे हैं. So apply and assess alternative systems of explanation or theories, and to propose and share alternative interpretations or solutions for today's issues in the society, to inquire into the historical, social, political, economic, cultural, and today's issues in the society and international forces in the area of study, to classify and assess historical sources, both documentary and statistical, and diverse viewpoints. Similarly, identify and use appropriate criteria for evaluating the acceptability of sources of history and social research. Evaluate critically and provide imaginative solutions to public policy programs. To recognize and exercise the responsibility as a citizen of our democracy, and to learn to think for himself, to participate in discussion regarding public affairs, and to seek information through the news media and other appropriate sources regarding politics and public policy. So Along with these, some kind of other objectives that also need to explore the core curriculum is to learn how diverse cultures are different. We belong to different states. We are having different food habits. We are having different languages. We are having different dresses. And we are also pay respect to everyone. So it is very essential that we must know about the diversified spectrum and to learn how these cultures may be respected, may be regarded as a superior one. We all are one and we all are tightly united with each other with language. Nowadays, social media is so strong that I am in Aligarh, you are far away from me, but you are able to hear me, you are able to see me, you are able to ask so many questions if wanted to ask. Then you are able to ask the questions again. So this connectivity from one corner to another says sorry, that we are one. We are one and we are united. Similarly, an institution may include in its core courses those that address outstanding educational objectives and not represented in the categories set above. Such courses may include computer literacy, neurosciences, health wellness, interdisciplinary or linked courses of others that focus on a specific institutional role and mission. Integrated means interlinked to each other, connected to each other. And this connection is in that form that if a student of ITEP is from science background, yes, if a student is from science background, can learn science as well as can enjoy the subject of social sciences of B.Ed program also. So this is the way that we interconnect the one course to the another. Okay. So this core curriculum says that what is required for today's scenario is that we should exhibit all the qualities of the learner and make them all-round development of the personality. सिर्फ वो वन साइडेड ना रहे कि बस वो फिजिक्स जानता है और वो सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल साइंस जानता है। हम चाहते हैं कि वो हर चीज को जाने, और वो हर चीज को कब जानेगा, जब हम उसको इंटरकनेक्ट करके पढ़ाएंगे। तो ये बात थी कोर करिकुलम की। अब हम आपको बताते हैं रोल ऑफ अ टीचर इन कोर करिकुलम। सबसे पहला रोल जो है टीचर का, द फर्स्ट रोल of a teacher in core curriculum is as a facilitator of learning. It means educationists act as guide, or teacher act as a guide, as a catalyst, helping student understand key concepts and ensure their mastery of foundational principles in all fields of learning. Second is that they create an interactive environment that facilitates critical thinking, problem solving, and inquiry based learning aligned with the core curriculum objectives. The next is curriculum interpreter. Teachers use the teaching methods as per the need of the students, and there should be flexibility in using the teaching method. And following the curriculum set into place, teachers when supplement the material with other resources, tools and material to encourage more participation and productivity within the educational process. They include multimedia, technologies, and practical application to enhance the fundamentals of mathematics, science, linguistics, and the social sciences. The next is teacher act as a good evaluator. How many are able to understand me? How many are not able to understand me? So these all questions are solved by the teacher by observing or by taking objective and subjective tests. Beside these all, instructional learning and teachers of these competencies have also a part of pedagogy, communication, collaboration, ethical reasoning, and all this falls under the main aims of the core curriculum. So they assist students in bridging theoretical knowledge with practical application and thereby promoting comprehensive development or the all-round development of the learner. The teacher adjusts his curriculum, teaching practices, and incorporation tools in response to shifts in curriculum expectation, changes in technology, and differences among students. Innovating, that is by adopting interdisciplinary approaches where core subjects linked to current issues such as environmental sustainability and digital literacy. The another role of teacher is mentor and role model the students. Teachers who are mentors as well as encourage students to take the value of solid education that the foundational curriculum imparts. They develop basic disposition and practices in students through the demonstration of curiosity, current education, and ethical conduct. Teacher also act as a collaborator with colleagues, with administrator and parents to align their classroom practices with broader curricular goals. They and best practices. Teacher is also agent of equity. Or the role of teacher is central to equalize access to the essential curriculum for children regardless of their background or ability. हमको कभी ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि ये बच्चा गरीब घर का है तो इसको हम कुछ भी कह दे या ना पढ़ाए. And someone is from privileged group, ये हमारे लिए पूजनीय है because they belong to richer family. No. ये लड़की है कैसे पढ़ेगी, ये लड़का है इसको पढ़ाओ. ये सब क्या है, ये सब क्या है, what is this? These all are the myths and our social ills. हमारी सोसाइटी के इल्स हैं, बीमारी जिसे कहते हैं ना, इल है. जैसे आज मैं इल हूं तो मैं आज अगर इल हूं तो मुझसे ठीक से बोलती हूँ तो मुझे प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. Similarly, when the system is ill, then very difficult to impart the right type of education. Underline the word right type of education. I repeat that when the system is ill, it is very difficult to impart the right kind of education. So what is needed? That on the part of teachers, on the part of administrators, and on the part of students, everything should be in the right direction. Always be positive. Always put your best efforts. And always try to think more in positive direction. What can I do new? What can I perform best? And how can I help others? So this kind of core curriculum is able to develop the core values among the learners. Teachers teach value to students that lifelong learning and adaptability amid an ever-changing world of great importance through their involvement with core curriculum content. Now we come to the next point, assessment and evaluation of core curriculum. Assessment and evaluation are among the inherent elements of the core curriculum because they indicate how effective that curriculum is at achieving educational objectives and how effectively it enables students to acquire desired knowledge and skills. And how effectively it enables students to acquire desired knowledge, skills, and involve them in the learning. So such processes involve a deep probe into what the students learned and planning and implementing the curriculum itself. Ascertaining that the fund is in accordance with educational benchmark and social requirements. And every core curriculum should be evaluated with its relevance to the current situation and with the objectives of the curriculum, technological advancement, as well as global change. So when I'm saying technological, it means what kind of technological devices we can use in teaching of particular subject. and global changes that are taking place around us. We should identify these changes and we should familiarize the students with these all changes so that they can face the challenges in coming futures. Measuring how the curriculum affects students' critical thinking, problem solving, and interdisciplinary knowledge. Whenever we have this kind of curriculum, we should take a survey from stakeholders also. Utilize the feedback of teachers, students, parents, and administrators on strengths and weaknesses of the curriculum. Standardized testing is also very essential. They are often used to measure student performance against national or regional standards. Similarly, we can use other kind of tools for the evaluation of students like rubrics and checklist, etc. रूब्रिक्स क्या है? इसमें हम कंप्यूटर पे जो करते हैं, कंप्यूटर पे हम बच्चों का रिकॉर्ड रखते हैं, तो रिकॉर्ड रख के हम बच्चों को इवेलुएट करते हैं, वो रूब्रिक्स है. चेकलिस्ट, हम एक लिस्ट बना लें, ये बच्चा ईमानदार है, ये मेहनती है, ये संयमी है, ये परिश्रमी है, ये आदर करता है सबका, और उस चेकलिस्ट में हम निशान लगाएं कि ये बातें इसमें हैं और ये नहीं है. तो rubrics and checklists are also helpful to assess our students. Self and peer assessment encourage reflective learning and collaborative assessment of our students. Digital tools are also used. Online platforms and tools of quiz, adaptive testing, analyzing data, these all are the assessment process better. Interdisciplinary assessment, evaluating interconnected competencies across subject in a meaningful way. Equity issues, ensuring that assessments are fair and achievable for students who come from different backgrounds. Similarly, balancing standardized assessment, standardized means that have been passed through a particular process by establishing reliability and validity. ये नहीं करना है कि हमारी जो समझ में आया वो हमने लिख लिया और उससे हमने बच्चे का असेसमेंट कर लिया. Was not correct. हमें उसकी reliability और validity भी चेक करनी पड़ी. And with the need to tailor competency test to individual learning styles. So in that way, we assess or evaluate the students for core curriculum. So this is about the content of week 5th and 6th, where you have studied activity-centered curriculum and core curriculum. Now, if you have any question from these lectures, please ask. आप बोलिए, थोड़ा सा बोलना स्टैंडिंग बढ़ेगा. Ask the question. 6. Any question from the side of learner? Please come forward. आप पूछिए, कोई बात समझ में ना आई हो? हाँ. Now the class is over. This live session is over. And we will meet day after tomorrow. That is on the 8th of April. The same time, 6 to 7:30. And bring your questions of this session also, previous session also. Issue. आपका जो भी परेशानी है, जो भी difficulty है, आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं. Okay? So thank you very much for attending this live session. And we will meet on 8th of April, the time 6 to 7:30. Goodbye.
Okay, ma'am.